I think my first impressions was that from the first time I actually actually was introduced to MDFT, I just thought that that was just so much a part of who I am and how what I see, how I see that clinical treatment should work. Like I said, we work with adolescents and family, but I think overall that, the way clinical treatment should actually function. And also it was more so a natural of who I am and how I would actually approach a situation or a clinic, or a family or, or individual that came to see me for clinical treatment. And I think that, again, like I said, it's flexible. I think that overall, even as it relates to the way in which families of color or Latino families as well as Caucasian families, it just meets people where they are and really help them to see that, things are not as bad as they think they are, and that they are able to work out some of these things. And those things that, again, they come with strengths, and they can use those strengths to overcome some of the dilemmas that they may be experiencing in their family at this particular time. And it works. Yeah. The other thing is that it really works. I have seen and I've heard families say that they never thought that they would be able to communicate with their child in the way that they were able to communicate. They could not believe that their child, is attending school. They couldn't believe that their child is also not using substances, that they're hanging more with the family versus hanging out with peers and gangs and all of those kinds of things. And a lot of people feel like that they really got their child back, and it works. I've seen it where in the most difficult situations and the most difficult families, in which families that other providers have said, I feel sorry if you're working for them because it'll never work, and they're surprised that once MDFT comes in there, how much that family changes and how different that they look. MDFT is the best, and like I said, I've been in the clinical world for 30 years. It's the best clinical treatment that I have ever seen, especially family therapy treatment. The thing is that it works. The thing is that it really works. It works. That's all I can say. It works. MDFT has had, it's just really, I can't tell you, it's had a tremendous effect here in Connecticut in terms of really saving the state a whole lot of money, and will continue to save the state a whole lot of money, and it's cost effective, in that way. And I think it also prevents kids that may end up going through the pipeline of the juvenile justice system to adult prison. And working with a lot of our funders that also are involved with funding MDFT, one of the things that they've seen in the effectiveness of it is that it saved the state a lot of money. And the way in which it saved the state a lot of money is that it's been used in diverting kids that would ordinarily go to residential treatment, may end up in residential treatment for 18 months or so, to be able to stay in their community in a cost-effective kind of way. So many times you see where they take the individual adolescent and they work on their problem, or mom has her therapy, but never really bringing them together in the same room as a family, when we know that all of these things affect family, to have them work it out together. And then also those that have other influences over them, whether it be school, whether it be the probation officer, other family members, natural community resources that will also assist and have, and has some influence over that adolescent to help them to be successful, or even any family. I think that, those are some of the things that I see sometimes are barriers, that is very fragmented, where MDFT really is more comprehensive. Helps the family to really appreciate each other in terms of who they are and what they bring, to the family, but also opening it up so they can actually see that we talk about that they are the medicine, that the parents are the medicine. But I believe that the whole family begins to see that they all are the medicine for each other. But to me, MDFT is much more much different. And I think that I've just seen great results, and it certainly fits in to the way in which I see families and also the way that I see individuals. There's so many parts of an individual, and to be able to look at that and not kind of have this cookie cutter approach. I mean, MDFT has, it works, it has evidence that it works, and it's a certain way that you have to do it. But at the same time, it also is flexible enough that it doesn't take away from the natural perspective of who a family is or who an individual is. And I think that that's what, to me, it makes MDFT really so effective in working with families, all kinds of families. I like the supervision. I think that that's the other thing, that in the traditional setting they don't nearly get the kind of supervision. I like the philosophy that the therapy is only as good as the therapist, and so a lot of time is spent on developing that therapist, developing that supervisor, as well as developing the trainers. That therapist, from the time that they starts MDFT with treatment, they are much different than the person that took the job for the first time as a therapist. And even if they're veteran therapists, I've just seen the clinical skills just really skyrocket. I know even for myself, my clinical skills have really improved tremendously because of the MDFT approach. So not only does it put its heart and soul, I think, in families, but also even in the quality of clinical treatment that is provided from the therapist level, to the supervisor's level, to the trainer's level. To see therapists that have come in, and I said, oh my goodness, I don't know whether or not they're gonna make it. They're so green, and to see them blossom and turn into great therapists that are doing great therapy. Supervisors like, oh goodness, I don't know, and to see that happen. And also to have, again, to see them also go from a therapist to a supervisor to a trainer, and still continuing to be in this mode of learning and developing and doing and providing the best clinical care that they could. And not just on the ground level, but also you have the developers also that are always continuing to see new ways and new things that they can do to enhance the training needs, to enhance the quality of clinical treatment that's being provided to families. It's a great thing.